Well, it's time to put the herring nets back in the boot. Well, obviously being the autumn herring, the biggest herring of the year, we use monos, and they're 2 1/8, 2 1/4 monos. Obviously we tie them on, obviously loop on the gill, and all I do is a double sheep bend, and just open up the rope and pop the end through, so that's never going to come undone. Now all we do is obviously put the knot in the corner out of the way, and just hit the gill, pull the gill in, and then you can start putting the nets in. It's so easy, just spread them out. And if you come to a pallet, lift it up, just tuck it in there so that it doesn't get caught up. You put it on the bit of net what you're working with. As you can see, they're springing up like hell. That's what dry monos do. Awful things really. But there you go. This time of year when the water isn't that dirty, that's what we need. See another one, pick it up, put it on this bit of net and just bury it. There's a little intermediate float. You have a little intermediate float every 20 foot. We have 20 foot intermediate float, another 20 foot buoy, then 20 foot intermediate and 20 foot buoy. I've been told they don't put the intermediate floats on if you buy fully rigged nets now. They reckon that doesn't make a difference, but I personally think it do. That's just because that's a lot quicker to rig a net up on one single bit of rope rather than slide the intermediate corks on it. That's the rule of doing it by hand, sliding the corks along. So if you're on a net rigging machine doing hundreds of nets, you won't be sliding corks along there. There's a few holes in these. But if you look at them, they're quite tough nets. See a few bit damage. They're thick old mono, that's 0.35, that is about the thickest we use for a herring net. They're no good for mackerel. They're just too thick, these old monos are. If you want to go after mackerel nets, you want 0.3 or 0.28. These 0.35s are too stiff. Crap for mackerel, but they're good for herring. And because they're thick, they take a good hammering. Obviously seals and everything don't damage these as bad. What you see is a bit of damage in them, but that's life. A lot of the problem is they're sunk nets, and these floats go through a hole, pull tight and rip, because they'll find any hole within 10 yards. That's just how it is, sod's law. Try and put the odd bit of lead line on top of the lint. That holds it down a bit so it isn't so fluffy, but you'll never stop it. See that you put a little bit of lint, lead line on it, that's pushing them down. This is a double length net. This is a 100-yard sheet, and I rigged it at 66 yards, rigged it by a third. Just keep going on like that. It's pretty simple really. Well, this is how I join the nets together. Alright, this isn't ideal. All my newer nets, the ones I rigged myself, I've spliced all loops in the ends, but these ones aren't enough rope to splice it. All I'm going to do is go through one, two, pull tight, double sheep bend. That's pretty good enough. But the other end, I'm going to do what a lot of people did years ago. The old boys used to leave these ends flying. They used to tie the lead lines together. That's in case they hefted up and that run along the nets. But when you're shooting and everything, that's a bit crap. So I didn't do that. So I pulled out a little bit of twine out of my pocket. That's a 1mm bit of braid. That's all I do. is get the two gills together. So these ain't got the loops on the bottom. Get the two gills together, go through one, through the other, see like that, and just do a few granny knots. They never come undone. Normally just do 4 granny knots or overhand knots. See, look, nothing complicated. But if they ever get hefted up, they easily part, so they ain't gonna run along, and with the gills joined together they do fish better. So then carry on and put these ones in. The only difference between the last net and this net is that's got a blue braided head rope, polypropylene, cheap 8mm stuff. The other stuff is got some other sort of nylon rope. That's all pretty much the same. It's the same lint loop. Complicated. Still the 0.35 mono was great for herring, crap for max, but they do last a long while. Because the biggest problem is not many people do this old-fashioned drift netting anymore. There ain't no money in it, so that's gone by the wayside. And before long, they're going to stop making these lints. Like round here, we can use a 2-inch net, but around the rest of the, I think it's only one of the few parts of the country you can use a 2-inch mesh size for herring. A lot of the parts, the IFCA rules say you can't, so you can't even buy a 2-inch herring net anymore. What's a shame. This time of year in the autumn we use like the 2 1/8, 2 1/4, and then as soon as they spawn at Christmas we get the spent, then we go down to the 2-inch nets, because you won't get no fish at all in these. Them spents will just go straight through them. This net look bin, but that's only the second net, because they're double length, it's equals like 4 nets. Very long strops on these, longer than normal. Most people put like 3 or 4 foot strops on them. But obviously them strops are a bit longer than that, they're double length strops. Some years they make a lot of difference, and other years they don't. But the thing is, what you can do, you can tie these strops up short. You can't fish shallower, but you can't make short strop long, can you? So I'll just leave them like that. If the herring's a deep one year, I'll tie them up. If another year they're deep, I'll just leave them as they are. As I just said, you can make a long strop shorter, but you can't make a short strop longer. Put them in sort of half tidy, because the I shoot at like 5 to 7 knots, so you don't want them tangle them, rip themselves to bits. Used to shoot by hand, getting the lead line and chucking it over the side like that all the time, windmilling. I haven't done that for a few years now, thank God. And before that, we didn't used to use the 8 boards to put the net tape. We used to roll the net tape by hand, if you believe it. But we had a lot smaller boats, and we had like little 16-foot skiffs, like the old wooden walkers, and small little like 16-foot strip liners, little old boats like that. And they're easy to row, aren't they? But the days of rolling gear out are long gone. I remember my father, he had a little 16-foot walker. That's the last walker that walker made. Last 16-foot he made. I remember my old granddad on the oars rolling out. He used to get a good old row on. I still laugh now. He used to have a look round and start rolling like all these nets out, and the old man was shooting. And the old man used to go, bloody hell, Dad, are you in some kind of race? I could have been more than about 6 or 7 at the time, but I used to always laugh every time. He'd start rolling and get carried away and having a look round and stuff. And the old man would moan that he's going too fast. But they were fun times, they were. Wouldn't want to go back to them, but they were enjoyable times. Well, actually, I lied. I would like to go back to them times with the knowledge I got now, because years ago there used to get plenty of cod here and that sort of thing, and if we knew what we knew now, we'd all bought bigger boats, shooting 1500 hooks, half the old cod. Then we used to shoot like 500 hooks was a good day lining in the little old waters. But now we shoot 1500, or can do, but there's no cod here to catch. There's hardly any cod, hardly any mackerel, hardly any sprats. I don't know why, because it ain't. A lot of people say it's overfishing, but it ain't us. And that's 2 nets in. So I'll join them together like I did the last ones. If you look now, I'm now moving the head rope slightly into the middle of the bin, because at the end of the bin that's getting quite full. So I start then moving the head rope and the floats like here. Just pull it out. I'll then start burying them in the middle of the net bin, like that. So it's just getting quite full. The head rope take up more of the lead line. Springy old things. That's right. That'll be that one. Obviously they're out of sacks I've been stored over the summer. So I think perfect. Bury that. Not much fur in the winter. Then we get the old nylons out. At the minute, on the flood, they're still quite sheer, and you won't get no herring in nylons in sheer water. So we've got to use these for the time being. If the water be like mud, I'll stick the nylons in. And I've got some 2 1/8 nylons. Hopefully there might even be some sprats this year. These are now banned drift nets for sprats. You can't use drift nets anymore, but I have made a sprat seine net, so that's still legal. I don't understand it. You can't use a 27mm sprat net, but you can use a 16mm trawl to catch sprats. Now how does that work in conservation? It'll just shite for me, but hopefully with the seine net I can then catch some sprats this year. Probably a bit of a learning curve using it, but that's better than catching no sprats. I'm getting there now. Well, while I was here I thought I'd power up my new VHF radio and put the MMSI number in. Obviously I'll put the number in, but as you can see there, it's a no position, no time. I feel like we've gone backwards with VHFs, because up till now they had a built-in GPS receiver inside them, and obviously now this one come with an external one, so it seems like we've gone backwards. So basically, this is, if you look on the back of it, see there, it's got a little socket there to put a GPS aerial in. Well, seems like we've gone backwards, doesn't it? But I was just curious if that would work without it in, and obviously look at that, no position, no time. That wouldn't do anything, no Latin long, until you put the aerial in. So obviously that'll be a aerial job in future. But I had to see it, check it worked right, because my last radio was playing up, and there's nothing worse than going at sea and having a dodgy radio, is there? that could cause serious problems. So new radio, where it is. Well, I put 3 double nets in, so that's like 6 nets of these heavy 0.35s. They're fish about 17.5 foot deep with an 8-9 foot strop on. But obviously, if you go near the beach, you'll heft up like hell because they're too deep. But these ones are a little bit different. These ones are conventional. These are 0.3s, but they're only 15 foot lengths. They only got a 4 foot strop on, so they fish deeper. I always put a couple of the shallow nets on the inside, so join them the same. Double sheep bend, easy peasy, and just pull tight. You get the other end of them. Where is it? There it is. And that's the other end of the stiff-o nets. So all I do is put them together, get another bit of twine out of my pocket. Yeah. Just do 4 overhand knots. I think them other ones are 15, 17.5 foot lengths with 8 odd foot strops, and these are only 15 foot lengths. Look, is that right? 4 foot strops. They obviously fish considerably shallower, so these are the ones I shoot closer to the beach if there's any hefts there. Because they're not as thick, they're not as springy. See, look, they chuck them on, they bed down better. Bag might want twisted. You see, not as springy. They'll catch mackerel, you get them now. They'll catch mackerel while the other ones wouldn't. I always get a couple on the inside end. They do fish better anyway, even for herring they fish better. My old man doesn't like them 0.35s. Use them. Well, that's all them nets in now. So that's 3 double them green nets and 2 single nets of these 0.3 shallower nets. So all we've got to do now is tie the end on, double sheep bend, and I'll just open it up. I was afraid it really won't burn. Just put that in. Sorted. We'll just coil it up on top. And that's the other end. Put that on there. That's all done, ready to go. Ready to be shot away from silver darlings. Well, if I can, I'm thinking about going off in the morning, but for me to use my net hauler, I've got to take the letterboxes off. Obviously got the net hauler here and I can't haul the net to that letterbox there. I've got one on the other side, then 2 stripper boxes. Well, I've only used them once this year, that water didn't shear up. That's been crap weather, so I ain't used them, but might as well take all the mackerel gear off. I think that's finished. That wasn't the worst year ever known for mackerel, but there you go, that's life. Well, that's the stripper box off. And the old letterbox and roller. There's the 2 letterbox and rollers on the floor. Well, then I'm going to put them in the van. And obviously that's the other stripper box off the other side sitting there. And obviously just sit on the floor, no letterbox off the front. With them letterboxes gone, I can then use the net hauler. And I might have to go tomorrow on my own. If it's alright, I'll go tomorrow on my own and pull a shank of pots in and take them and do a couple of drifts after herring beforehand, see if there's any herring there. I'll have to do that mid-tide because I want to haul the pots on slack. So I want to fish the right time, but they out. More chance of getting food fish on the strength of the tide rather than the net sitting in the boat, isn't there? Well, that's the boat all tidied up and put away. Hope you found some interest. Well, cheers for watching, boys and girls. Have fun.